Peace, family. It's your brother, Marc Lamont Hill. Welcome to the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel. Today is day 111 of Israel's war on Gaza. And we are here today to cover it, to talk about it, as we do every day, to give a spotlight to the issues and the statistics and the developments that are often ignored by corporate media, that are often denied by mainstream news outlets. And so we're here to do that work every single day. As long as there's a war on Gaza, as long as the Palestinian people remain vulnerable in the Gaza Strip, we're going to continue to cover this stuff. So let's get right to it. In the meantime, actually, as I'm going to the first story, let me know your location. I see people writing in already. I want to make sure I shout a couple of y'all out. What's up, Dez? I see you coming in there. Cody Elmore, shout out to you as well from Spokane, Washington. People right in your city, right in your state, right in your country. Let me know where you're writing in from so that we can give you a shout out as we get going with these stories. Sage coming in from the U.S. Littlest Kim, I like that. Littlest Kim from Chicago. My brother Corey T, always good to see you. My brother Chris Raspberry, MLH fam coming in from Atlanta. Jeffrey Bowers, MLH fam coming in from Wilmington, Delaware. Lewis Hudson from L.A. All of my MLH family, people who are members of the channel, giving y'all shouts out. Of course, Bullet the Bunny from Tennessee. I got to give one out to Talib Rashid, though. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam, I should say. Thank you so much for the support. All right, everybody, so much going on out here. Again, hit the like button, smash up those likes so people know that you're interested in what we're talking about, and lets the algorithms know to expand the content and the reach of the content. All right, here's how things shake out on today, Thursday, January 25th. The International Court of Justice has announced that it will be delivering a response to South Africa's request for emergency measures to protect the Palestinians from irreparable harm. Two things happen that we have to think about with regard to the ICJ. The first is, of course, the charge of genocide. And the second is the call for emergency measures to stop the genocide, specifically a ceasefire. The ultimate ruling on whether genocide has been committed will not be ruled upon tomorrow at 12 o'clock GMT, which is 1 p.m. local time in The Hague. It's 7 a.m. here on the East Coast of New York. But what they will rule tomorrow is whether or not to call for a ceasefire. It doesn't mean Israel's going to do it regardless, but they'll at least call for it. And Hamas has said that they will honor the ICJ's decision. They will respect the International Court of Justice's decision. It'll be interesting to see if Israel says or does the same thing. All indications point to no. Yesterday, on Wednesday, hundreds of protesters called on Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu and his government to secure the immediate release of captives held in the Gaza Strip. Once again, they took to Tel Aviv as they did earlier this week, and they blocked Ayalon Highway before they rallied outside the headquarters of the Israeli military and the Ministry of Defense. Again, right now, the Israeli public, they are calling for the release of all of the hostages, and they feel as if the Netanyahu government has done an insufficient, unacceptable even job in bringing about the hostage return. Now, there's all kinds of political differences here, obviously, and many of the people who are protesting Netanyahu and his government are the same people that were marching through the streets at the power grab of the Netanyahu government and the Israeli right a few months ago. They're fighting for liberal Zionism. They're not fighting for democracy. They're fighting for the right to have a democracy of people who fit within the confines and the desires of the ethno-state. So we never want to pretend that we're politically aligned ultimately. But this group of people protesting right now are calling for a ceasefire. They do want to stop to the violence, not because they care about Palestinian lives necessarily. They may not care about Palestinian lives, but they care about their brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers who are held hostage. Wherever those intersections occur, wherever there's an interest convergence, as the critical race theorists say, we have to seize the opportunity and do what we can to get them home. So if a ceasefire comes because of that, I'm fine with it, but we need a ceasefire now. A reported Israeli tank fire killed at least 9 people at a United Nations shelter in Khan Yunis on Wednesday. It also wounded dozens of other people, sparking international outrage. Israel's military said it investigated the incident and will continue to investigate the incident, and that it has so far ruled out that it was a result of an aerial or artillery attack from its forces. So We don't know what the tank fire was. We know 9 people died from it. 9 Palestinians died from it. Israel investigating its own actions is, the fox in the hen house investigating his own behavior. I have no faith that the Israeli government will necessarily report back its own misdeeds. Now, sometimes they do. They've talked about friendly fire. They've talked about hitting the wrong people. Lately, Israel's government has acknowledged mistakes in killing people. Not all of them, but a few of them. So it wouldn't stun me if they said, "Hey, there was an aerial or artillery strike." But it also wouldn't stun me if they never disclosed the truth, or if we never found out what really happened here. All right, let's talk a little bit about some of the human impact from all of this. The UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs reported that, quote, "No one can enter or exit Nasser Hospital due to bombardments nearby, including 400 dialysis patients who are in need of support." This is tragic. On all sides, right? First of all, there's bombardments near Nasser Hospital. So people who need to get into the hospital can't get in. It's also quite likely that if you can't enter or exit the hospital, then doctors can't leave, or doctors are forced to stay in forever, right? So that can't work. That's not a sustainable model. So personnel can't get in or out. Sick people can't get in or out. That means well people who might need to leave to create space for new sick people also can't get in and out. So all of this is part of the problem, not to mention the fact that there's considerable bombardment near the hospital is in and of itself a problem that we need to consider. But again, no surprise. We saw this with Indonesian hospital. We saw this with El Ahli. We saw this with El Shifa. We could go on and on. There ain't no shortage of hospitals in Gaza that have been destroyed, crumbled, attacked, bombed, or shut down. 4 children were killed when Israeli warplanes bombed a residential area in the Nuseirat refugee camp overnight. That's according to Wafa, the Palestinian news agency. Bombing refugee camps is nothing new. Jabalia is probably the most known one, but they have all been vulnerable to attacks. The argument being, yeah, there's women and children. Yes, there's elderly and babies. Yes, there's civilians there, but Hamas is hiding there. And so therefore we must bomb the village. We must bomb the refugee camp. It's indefensible based on international law, much of it, but it continues to happen. Those 4 children are 4 more on top of the more than 10,000 Palestinian children, Gazan children in particular, who have been killed since October 7th. More than 1% of the Palestinian youth population has been killed since October 7th in Gaza, to be clear. More than 1% of the Gazan children have been killed since October 7th. That is a bone-chilling number. Israeli forces have arrested more than 6,225 Palestinians in the occupied West Bank since October 7th. We got night raids, we got bombings, we got killings. We see people being dehumanized, people being forced to strip down, all kinds of stuff. And on top of that, more than 6,000 arrests, more than 6,200 arrests. That's according to the Palestinian Commission of Detainees and Ex-Detainees Affairs, as well as the Palestinian Prisoner Society. The numbers are absolutely stunning. To give you some context, I want to give you some context. I want to show you this chart because I think that without it, it's hard to fully appreciate how bad these things are. I want to give you some raw numbers here. Look at this. This is Israel's war on Gaza. This is according to Al Jazeera, the Palestinian Ministry of Health, the Palestine Red Crescent Society, the Israeli Army, and the Israel Social Security Agency. When we look at all of these people, these organizations coming together, look at what we see here. At least 1,139 Israelis have been killed. Now, that's number, ironically, is lower than October 7th because at the time we thought it was 1,400. And more than 8,730 Israelis have been injured. That's the number that we see. Now, let's juxtapose that to Palestine since October 7th. 25,700 2,500 people have been killed. Of that 25,700, 10,000 are children. Again, that's 1% of the Palestinian child population. There's also 8,000 people missing. People whose whereabouts we don't know. People who are under the rubble. So that number could easily be 3,300. Could easily be over 30,000, excuse me. Over 33,000, but certainly 30,000. And then when we look at the number of injuries, 63,000 injured. And of those, you're talking about 8,600 children. That's almost another 1% of the Palestinian youth. So you could basically say 2% of Palestinian children in Gaza have been killed or injured. That's 1 in 50. Again, a bone-chilling number. And then we look to the West Bank, 370 Palestinians killed, including 99 children and more than 4,200 arrests. These numbers are sobering in so many ways, but I wanted to make sure you saw them because, again, sometimes we need context. Let's talk about some of the diplomatic developments that are also happening. In a post on X on Wednesday, Qatar's Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesperson Majid El Ansari said that Doha was, quote, appalled by Netanyahu, allegedly calling Qatari mediation efforts problematic. Benjamin Netanyahu is nothing if not filled with gall. And he had the unmitigated gall to say that Qatar attempting to mediate and bring about a solution that will bring Israeli captives home, was problematic. It's not clear why they said that, but it's, anyway, another story for another time. Netanyahu has reportedly also said that he is, quote, very angry with the fact that the United States has renewed their military presence for another 10 years at the U.S. base in Qatar. Netanyahu is definitely that friend. It's like, you can't be friends with nobody I'm beefing with. You can't have no relations with anybody I don't like. You're my friend and my friend only. The U.S. has a strategic interest in being in Qatar, as a strategic interest to have a strong relationship with Doha. And Netanyahu is not happy about it. It'll be interesting to see how that develops. On Wednesday, 49 of the 51 members of the United States Senate Democratic Caucus backed a statement reiterating support for a two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. I'll say that again. 49 of the 51 members of the United States Democratic Caucus backed a statement reiterating support for a two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. It's like Groundhog's Day, man. We're just replicating the same problems over and over and over and over again. I understand that this response was a response to Netanyahu saying that there wouldn't be a Palestinian state. So to that extent, it's a pushback. But now I need them to grow some courage and some political analysis and recognize that there won't be a two-state solution. A two-state solution is a foregone or a bypassed opportunity. And that instead of a two-state solution, we're going to live with a one-state reality. A reality where Israel controls everything. And the only way to get justice is not a two-state solution, which is just punting a football. No one's ever going to do it. But fighting, advocating, and putting political pressure on Israel until it's willing to give everyone who's living in historic Palestine the same rights and freedoms as everyone else. All right, family, we will talk to you again soon. I just want to give you a quick update. That is the update. I also want to shout some people out one more time. Lanzinator, thank you so much for the generous donation. You said, when can we watch Black in the Holy Land? Black in the Holy Land, my film, will be out very soon, doing some final touches on some post-production stuff, but you will be seeing the film very soon, hopefully at a film festival near you in 2024. I can almost guarantee that. Christy Z, I want to thank you for your analysis. You're right. Those numbers of casualties are on the low side. I don't doubt that at all. Thank you for weighing in on that. Everybody, if you got more questions and comments, keep them coming in. I'll be circling back later tonight for more conversation with you all. In the meantime, hit the like button, as I said. Also hit the subscribe button. We love when you join the channel as a subscriber and become a member of what we do, because it helps us expand the vision. It helps us grow the family. It helps our reach stretch even further than it is right now. But I also ask people to join the channel. It's wonderful when you all join the channel. If you hit that join button, you become a monthly member of the Marc Lamont Hill official channel. What it allows us to do is develop a stable base of revenue that then allows us to build a studio. It will allow us to do a daily news program here. It will allow us to expand the reach of the program and to add more voices like Mumia Abu-Jamal, who now has a podcast with us here, the Classroom and the Cell, along with me. I'm blessed to do that with my brother. And of course, I always appreciate, we're ever so grateful if you're so inclined to simply do a Cash App donation. YouTube doesn't take any money out. Go straight to us. You go to Cash App, you hit the $, and you type MLHTV. And when you do that, again, it helps us build and grow and protect this platform. I want to thank everybody for watching this. If you don't do anything else, just hit like. Let YouTube know you like what we do. That means everything to us. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll talk to you all soon. Peace.